Pac-12 Women's Basketball Media Day here in San Francisco. Beautiful sights over the Golden Gate Bridge as we welcome you inside our San Francisco studios, taking a closer look at the Washington State Cougs. Ashley Adamson, Mary Murphy, Bella Murekatete, and Cami Etheridge, the head coach. It is great to have you with us, and so far so good. You guys have had a good morning so far.
Yes. It's been great. I love bringing new players, so it's all new to Bella.
Good. It's about to get a lot better, Bella, let me tell you this.
And
She never has a good time.
You've had an amazing journey, and we're going to get to that because I really want to talk to you. But I want to start with you, Coach, because you look at, it's been so cool to see your build. Now you're entering year 5. You look at year 1, 9 wins. 4 years later, 19 wins, and you hit all these benchmarks, right? Second straight NCAA tournament, most conference wins in program history, first ever top 25 ranking. Media vote you as Coach of the Year. So as you enter season 5 in Pullman, sort of, what's the expectation? How are you feeling? What's different this year?
Well, I think the thing that just comes to mind is 2 years ago when we kind of made our breakthrough. We had a really young team. No one expected anything. The following year, we make another NCAA tournament, and we had 5 starters back on that team. Well, this year, those same 4 starters are back, and maybe a 5th starter in Tara Wallach, who came off the bench. We lost 1 starter. So I look at our team as just unbelievably young back then, and now the same team is really, really experienced, better skilled, better competitors, better fitness level, hungrier than they've ever been before, and they've been through the wars. They've been through it. So we have great expectations for our team this year.
And Ashley just referred to it a little bit. Bella, your journey, I mean, you could do a documentary on your life, and you're not really that old. But for your first 14 years of your life, you're living and growing up in Rwanda, and then the decision to come to the States and move to Idaho and go to high school, and then your journey and all that you've accomplished at Washington State. Just give us the short version of this is your life.
Well, I grew up playing soccer and volleyball, and then my mom actually, we had a camp in for basketball, and my mom had my brother and my sister to go play basketball, and she was like, you don't really you don't want to play basketball. And then one time, I was walking from the hospital, and then this car drove by and stopped, and it was like, hey, you're really tall. And I was like, who's this? Stranger danger. and then, but it happened to be the famous coach in Rwanda. His name was Mushumba, and he just said that I should come to the camp that my mom paid for my siblings to go to, and it just happened like that. And we became friends and we became family. And he applied to Genesis Prep in Idaho, and I happened to get in, and that's how I started playing basketball at 14 years old.
I'm going to say for the first time ever on television, I'm glad you didn't listen to your mom
all
those years ago, because basketball clearly is for you. And now you're up here as a big TV star and talking about a team that has been to the NCAA tournament back-to-back years. Just, did you ever imagine this was in the cards?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I never imagined that. But I grew up watching the Pac-12. I grew up watching Nike from a while ago. So I grew up watching all of this. So it's a really dream come true being here.
Coach, the combination of Bella and Ula, I mean, their emotions are so different, but their energy and their competitiveness is just so right there.
Right. I mean, talk about a player that you see whatever is happening to Bella, you see. If something's bad going on, you might see her emotionally go down a little bit, but if something great happens, you see the rooftop, the mountaintop. And Ula's a little bit more subdued, although she definitely can celebrate good plays and does, but she has such a calming effect, I think, on our team, along with Charlize. Those two really, they're easy to play with, and that's something that Bella has really grown into and has taken from those players that understand how to play, understand how to be a player, a teammate that's easy to play with. It's come save the day at times because her ability and now her IQ and her the way she competes has risen so much over the course of her career.
You mentioned when I asked you off the top about the team, and you said we've got improved fitness, and you looked right at Bella when you said that. You've mentioned that she's so intentional in her workouts. Where she was the co-most improved player in the league last year, and she's on some award watch lists coming into the season, so she's not flying under the radar anymore, certainly. Where have you seen her take steps, and where are you hoping to see her take the next step this season?
Well, all I can tell you is our strength coach had to Bella-proof weights all of last spring until one day in April, something snapped with her, and she got committed to the weight room, no shortcuts, there, going through every rep. She got committed in her fitness. She was able to go home during that 6-week period. She went home and could do the workouts without someone being there and helping her through it. Like, it's just maturation, like wanting to be good, hungry to be good, had success, but also understands she can be so much better than she's been and wants to be that for her teammates. And consistently was between her and Charlize this summer. 2 players couldn't work harder, couldn't have been in the gym more. Heck, both of them should be maybe most improved for next year. That's what I want to see.
Love that.
You know, Bella, there's not a greater name in women's basketball in the Post than Lisa Leslie. And to be named to that list, what did that mean to you when someone told you or you read that?
It's an honor. It's an honor to be able to actually see your name, like, in there, and it means that people are watching, and you gotta prove it. You gotta prove that you're capable of being in that list, and it's really an honor. And I'm fortunate enough to be in that list.
Congrats.
Thank you.
It is awesome, and we're excited to watch you. Real quick before we go talk to Charlize, you mentioned the one player who you don't have back, a player that you've had with you, Coach, for the last 5 years, and Charlize Leger-Walker. She's now playing professionally in Australia, as I understand. What is it like not having her in the locker room? Because I know she was you guys had a great relationship, and she brought a lot to the program.
Well, the biggest voice in the gym by far that we lost, her leadership and her defensive ability were off the charts and so good. One thing that I think happened naturally and instinctively is Charlize Leger-Walker's voice became louder. And I think that's her nature anyway. She's always been a tremendous leader, but would take a back seat, I think, to her older sister at times. So that's not a bad thing to have Charlize's voice now and anticipation and ability to communicate what needs to be communicated to the team. But we will miss Crystal. We miss her every single day. You know, and it's a real challenge for us to fill that hole in the point guard spot. But I like the group that we brought in, and I certainly like the experienced players that we have back. And anytime we have Ula's voice and Charlize's voice going on the court, we're going to be in pretty good shape.
All right, well, let's see how loud Charlize's voice has actually gotten. She's hanging out on the side set with Angela Taylor. How about it? Let's see. What do you want to sing for us, Charlize? What do you got?
All right, let's get started. So Charlize, as you just heard Coach talk about, like, there's going to be a big void to fill with losing your sister, not just for the team, but for you as well. What's it going to be like for you individually to not have Crystal in the backcourt and for the team to not have her on the court?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge difference, you know, going into this season. Obviously, she was our on-court floor general, as Coachy likes to say, and so not having her voice there, I think for me personally, that just means, you know, I really do have to step into that role and take on more of that leadership that, you know, I probably did sit back a little, and, you know, she's taught me so much of what I learned, so just hearing her voice was kind of a no-brainer for me. So going into this season, I'm definitely looking to take on more of that leadership role and having more of a voice.
Well, heading into the season, one of the beauties of the women's game is how global it is in nature. And you literally just got to San Francisco from New Zealand last night. What were you doing in New Zealand, and how is that going to help you prepare for the upcoming season?
Yeah, so I just, like you said, flew back last night. I think I got in around 10:30 p.m., so pretty late. But I was just on a national tour with the national team, New Zealand women's basketball team, back home. It was a preparation tour for the next Olympic cycle that we're going to be trying to qualify for. So it was just a camp for us to really get together and get some good games against some quality teams, and just kind of, you know, start putting pieces together to get ready for that.
Well, Mary was talking to Bella about the advice that she received from her mother. You've had quite a few guards in your life. Your mother was a 2-time Olympian for the New Zealand Tall Ferns. You have Cami Etheridge, a legendary women's basketball player, and Lori Kane, one of the sharpshooters in NCAA play. What have you learned from all of these great guards that are around you?
Yeah, I think, you know, when you ask that question, the number one thing that comes to mind, especially from a point guard perspective and a guard role, is their work ethic that they put in, and just being really meticulous in the details of their game. You know, from a point guard role, having that leadership, like you've said, being able to read the court and make decisions under pressure. You know, guards like Lori, I think she is probably one of the most hardest working people I've come to meet, and I didn't even see her when she was playing. It's just, you know, what I've seen as a coach, and she's in the gym whenever you need her, any time of the day. So for me personally, just taking away that's a skill that anybody can have. It's not, out of anyone's reach. Is just having that work ethic and getting in the gym, shooting every day, working on your handle, things like that. I think all three of those people have taught me.
Well, talking about getting in the gym, you're one of the most dynamic playmakers in the country. You can do everything on the court. You can score from any position on the court. You set your teammates up for success. You're such a dynamic player. And I think at the end of last year, we saw a lot of teams trying to bait you into taking your perimeter jumper. So what have you been working on this offseason?
Yeah, it's kind of funny you said that. I have been working a lot on my perimeter game. Obviously, towards the end of the season, I think it probably dropped off a little bit, the three-point percentage, especially, off ball pickups and coming off screens. So that's been something, I've been in the gym working on a lot, is just reps and reps and reps of shooting and coming off the dribble to shoot and just making those different reads, especially, late game clock type situations and being able to make those clutch plays. So definitely the perimeter game I've been working on a lot in the off season.
Well, I look forward to seeing that. And one of the things that winning is contagious. And the last couple of seasons, your freshman and your sophomore year, you've been able to lead your team to the NCAA tournament. What did that experience teach you?
Yeah, these last two seasons, it's been amazing for our team. We're trying to create this winning culture and winning traditions within our program. So I think going forward, it's about having that mindset of winning, like you said. If our senior group and our core group can really have that contagious mindset, I think, anybody coming into that program will be able to see it. And, Coach E says a lot, a stranger walks into your gym and they don't know anything about basketball. What do you want them to see on your court? And we want to have, that sense of a winning mentality in our gym. So, yeah.
All right. Well, a lot of winning taking place on this set and a lot of winning over there on the main set. Ashley.
Thank you, Angela. Can't wait to watch these Cougs. They're coming back in our neighborhood in a couple weeks, November 11th, taking on USF. Year 5 under Cami Etheridge tips off on November 7th against Loyola Marymount.